that scheduled tea break as of now. So anyone who wants to have tea, it is there outside. You can move and come back within 2 minutes. So to guide this session, I have distinct honor of inviting the session chairs, Professor Saeed Ziaur Rahman and Dr. Kasif Hanif. All of you are requested to please remain here. I request all of you, please remain here for the scientific session. Yeah. May I invite the chair, may I invite the session chairs, Professor Saeed Ziaur Rahman and Dr. Kasif Hanif. To acknowledge their stature, I'll take a brief moment to highlight the accomplishment of each of our chairperson. Professor Saeed Ziaur Rahman has over 28 years of experience in pharmacology and currently serves as chairperson of the department at JN Medical College, AMU Aligarh. He has pioneered initiatives such as ALIG's Academic Enrichment Program, a PhD program in pharmacology, and a lab for alternatives to animal experimentation. He also coordinates AMC PVPI and MGMC MVPI at JNMC, with the latter recently upgraded to a regional training center. We welcome you, sir. Dr. Kashif Hanif, a senior principal scientist at CSIR CDRI Lucknow, specializes in the pathophysiology of pulmonary hypertension, focuses on DNA repair enzyme, fatty acid synthesis, and metabolic remodeling in vascular and right ventricular dysfunction. He has developed in vitro and in vivo model to study molecular targets. Dr. Hanif has received awards including the ICMR, D.N. Prasad Memorial Oration, and the Suresh C. Tyagi Award, and is a Fulbright Nehru Fellow investigating the right ventricle hypertrophy and estrogen receptor modulation. I welcome you, sir. We are delighted to present a very engaging session featuring 4 distinguished speakers and experts. May I request, sir, to introduce our first plenary talk speaker, Professor Y.K. Gupta, to the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome all the delegates and especially the guest speakers. And you just have heard that in this particular session, we have very renowned speakers, including Professor Y.K. Gupta, Dr. Shiv Prakash, the former chairperson of this IPS conference, and Dr. Bobby George. So first, I would like to welcome Professor Y.K. Gupta. And you all are familiar with his work, but just for the sake of the newcomers and the new generation of pharmacologists, Professor Y.K. Gupta is a very senior pharmacologist. In fact, I feel like we're humbled that he's here, and I've been in touch with him for the last many years. He worked as a professor and head department of pharmacology at the All India Institute of Medical Science, New Delhi. A distinguished academic leader, he served as Dean AIIMS and later as president of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Jammu. Dr. Gupta has contributed extensively to the field in the field of neuropharmacology, toxicology, and drug safety, and played a key role in establishing India's pharmacovigilance framework. There's no doubt that he played a significant role in the development of the National Pharmacovigilance Program as well as the Material Vigilance Program of India. He has authored over 400 scientific papers, served as on multiple national regulatory committees, and received several prestigious awards, including Dr. B.C. Roy Award of the National Medical Commission for his outstanding contributions to medical education and research. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Professor Y.K. Gupta, sir, to please deliver your invited lecture. Thank you, sir.
Is this working now? Yeah. Thank you very much. Namaskar to everybody. And It's my pleasure to talk here. What I thought that instead of giving my entire 35 years or 37 years research publications brief, after superannuation about 7-8 years back from All India Institute of Medical Sciences as a dean, I assumed charge of healthcare professional, policymaker working with Niti Aayog, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Environment, drug regulator. And then I realized, and also Department of Pharma, and currently I chair, those who do not know, the committee which is converting Pharmacy Council into Pharmacy Commission and reorienting the entire syllabus and the education framework for the India. I realized कि जो हमारे फार्मेसी के बच्चे हैं या जो MBBS करके MD कर रहे हैं, ये जो यंग प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, they need more direction. Direction for how to succeed in life and how to be relevant and how to remain contemporary. And that is what beyond books, how you learn and what you should learn. And that's why I thought that I will not make presentation with slides. I just kept it out. So just remind me 2 minutes before, because I'm passionate about it and I will continue for an hour. So I can stop at any time when you say so. I see today the जो particularly young लोग हैं, जब वो पैदा होते हैं, जब हम सब पैदा होते हैं, तो हमारे पेरेंट्स सोचते हैं कि ये बच्चा बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, IQ बहुत तगड़ा है इसकी सारी कंट्रीज के कैपिटल पता हैं, ट्रेन के टाइमिंग पता हैं, and so forth. His IQ is very high, which is important throughout your life. But then IQ doesn't work all the way. You have to have a second Q, which is DQ, I always say. Diligence quotient. Unless आप मेहनत नहीं कर सकते तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता. So IQ के साथ में DQ होना बहुत ही जरूरी है. But only IQ, DQ doesn't work. गधा भी काम करता है. सबसे ज़्यादा गधा काम करता है ना, उसके ऊपर लाद दो कितना भी आगे चलता जाता है. But he is never leader. He is always a follower. And therefore, IQ, DQ के साथ साथ में जो हमारी यंग जनरेशन है उनको आना चाहिए EQ, emotional quotient. And that is what I can see here, Shubhdeep Sinha here, industry people here. Emotional quotient. आज हमारी गर्लफ्रेंड से या बॉयफ्रेंड से ब्रेकअप हो गया तो 6 महीने के लिए डिप्रेशन में चले गए. छत पे जाके देखने लगे कितने नीचे कूदूंगा तो मर सकता हूँ, मरने के बाद बचने का भी क्या उम्मीद है. एक बार आप फेल हो गए, एक बार आपकी स्टार्टअप कंपनी सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुई, देन यू गॉन इनटू से एक बार पेपर रिजेक्ट हो गया तो आप सारे सिस्टम को गलत कहने लग गए. दैट इज इमोशनल instability. So you have to have an emotional quotient. Unless you have these three, I think you will not succeed in life. But ये तीन भी हो तब भी काम नहीं चलता. Unless you have what is the most important, which I feel is AQ, attitude quotient. Attitude quotient means you want to do something without looking at what is going to happen. कर्मण्य वादिका रस्ते माँ फलेषु कदाचन. आपने सोच तो लिया पहले ये रिजल्ट होना चाहिए, लेकिन अगर वो रिजल्ट नहीं आया तब क्या, कुछ नहीं. Go and proceed. And that is what AQ is important. अगर आज आपके हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट ने, आज आपके हेड ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने, आज आपके बॉस ने कहा कि चलो यार बाहर हमको 10 फुट का गड्ढा खोदना है रात की सुबह तक, आपसे कहा वॉलंटियर चाहिए 5. कुछ लोग तो पीछे बैठ के साइड से निकल जाएंगे, कुछ यहाँ से देखने लगेंगे. Only few will come forward without asking why. And this is what the military officers look for. And this is what the AQ means. You have to volunteer for a purpose which is of national interest, which is subject which is of national interest, for which you do not know from where the order is coming. But it seems कि हमारा जमीर कहता है ये ठीक है और कूद पड़ेंगे उसमें. यही लोग लीडर बनते हैं. These are the leaders in the industry. These are the leaders in education. These are the leaders which you call as the political leaders. And these are the leaders who lead the nation and lead the profession. और हमें अपने institutions में, because I had couple of All India Institute of Medical Sciences and also steering committee members of all 22 aims. So this is what we have to bring change in our education system. We have to create leaders, not only the followers कि हमने Goodman Gilman से या इससे किताब करके वाइवा पूछना शुरू किया. You have lost the critical thinking ability of this student. हमें पूछना है इस student में critical thinking क्या है? How to find out the most important critical matter from this jugglery of what you say of the nomenclature. या उसका. That is something which is very important. So I always say, beyond books, learning is important. And this beyond book learning can come from your peers. And I was disappointed yesterday when such an important topic was there and people were just murmuring. This is something. The second important thing in life, particularly all those, is the communication skill. You must know knowledge is important, but transmission of knowledge, communication is not only publication, communication, that is important, but how you communicate with the public, how effectively you transmit your ideas to your boss, so that he thinks कि यार इसने कुछ बात तो कह के चला गया, इस बात में तो दम थी, now let us do it. That is what a communication skill is. And second thing is your body language. And those who have seen, अगर आपने देखा हो the Three Idiots, the body language and the communication skill, the confidence which he said, कि अच्छा भैया लेकर नौकरी ले जाओ. उसने कहा ये तुम्हारी नौकरी है तो ले जाओ, हम नहीं करेंगे. उसने कहा बाद में ultimately he said कि अच्छा नौकरी भैया तुम्हारी पक्की, तुम ले जाओ. That is what the communication skill. And that is what in industry people look for. That is something which is important. Skills जो हमारे पास जरूरी होनी चाहिए इंडस्ट्री में जाने से पहले या उससे पहले भी एकेडमिया में भी is what you are looking for. अगर हम कहें हम सारे पब्लिकेशन देखते हैं कितना साइटेशन है, कितना इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर है. इनफैक्ट आई have been in charge of top level award committee, and then we used to look for impact factor. अरे यार impact factor is important, but more than impact factor is the reproducibility factor, which is challenged in India and a couple of countries. Reproducibility factor. अगर आपका डेटा reproducible नहीं हुआ आज के 10 साल बाद भी, and it has been converted into a fraud, it has been considered as not relevant, non-reproducible, the reputation of yours is gone, the reputation of the institution is gone, and reputation of the country goes down. And that challenge we have faced a couple of times. And therefore, please remember the reputation of the country, you are also part. And the reproducibility is most important. Don't publish any paper, doesn't make a difference, but publish the paper, produce the data which is reproducible. इसी reproducibility के लिए हमको सबको जरूरत है 3-4 चीजें के लिए. GLP, good laboratory practice, GCP, GMP, GXP, whatever you say, is only the protocol based. And the idea is that whatever data you produce is credible, whatever data you produce is acceptable globally. And I chaired the GLP National Committee for 14 years, and we made it possible. Now India is MAD, Mutual Data Adherence or Acceptance country. Now our data from GLP lab is acceptable throughout the globe. And that is something which is very important. I always say to young people, आप क्या करोगे इसके बाद में? 90% लोग कहेंगे मैं लेक्चरर की पोस्ट देखूंगा, 99% सब कहेंगे मैं लेक्चरर की पोस्ट देखूंगा, मैं इंडस्ट्री में नौकरी देखूंगा. शायद ही कोई ऐसा हो जो कहेगा कि मैं नौकरी दूंगा. So think loud. Don't think that you will be employee. Think that how you can give employment, employer. And that is what Government of India is now investing huge money, giving lot of grant through BIRAC from DBT, from ICMR to startup. Startup kholo, idea lo, startup ke liye liberal funding is available from BIRAC. Up to 50 lakhs is only available for idea which is workable, which is well researched. And that is what you should do. And never fail it about it. Industry will give you support. So that is something which is very important. कुछ एरियाज हैं जो हमारे प्रोफेशनल्स को सीखने चाहिए, जो नहीं हैं, जिसमें कि आउट ऑफ बॉक्स सीखना चाहिए. सम ऑफ दैट वाज मेंशन अर्लियर. Is a health economics or pharmacoeconomics. I chair one of the committee which is called as the NPPA, National Pharma Pricing Authority, and we look for the competent pharmacologists, competent economists, pharmacology who has a background in economy, who can decide the rationale of fixing a price of essential drug, who can fix the price of the rare drugs, who can fix the price of the vaccines, and then who can give the idea to the government कि इस वैक्सीन को हम पॉपुलेशन में कितने में लेके आएँ, वेदर HPV वैक्सीन हो चाहे रोटा वायरस वैक्सीन हो, कि इतने देने के बाद व्हाट इज द रिटर्न ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑन दैट. दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन डू. कन्वर्ट योर प्रोडक्ट इनटू नेशनल एग्रीगेटर, कि ये हमारा टोटल इसके वैल्यू है, इससे ये हमारा बायोसिमिलर आने से इस कॉस्ट में है, इतनी लाइफ सेव होंगी, एंड देयरफॉर दिस मच ऑफ रिसर्च इन्वेस्टमेंट इज नीडेड. एंड दैट वाज द बेसिस, इफ यू रिमेंबर, public or PIL, this is called as a productivity linked incentive, RIL, research linked incentive, 10,000 crore government of India, I work with Niti Aayog, was only sanctioned on this idea कि अगर आपके पास research based idea है, उससे linked कोई project है, then there are 10,000 crore and there are only few takers for that. अगर आपको पता होगा, then you can look for that. That is something which is very important. फार्माकोइकोनॉमिक्स, हमने बना तो दिया ड्रग, हमने आप काम तो कर रहे हैं ड्रग, लेकिन वो ड्रग कहाँ पोजीशन होगी बाद में, दैट इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू सी मार्केट इंटेलिजेंस, क्या होगा, कितने लोग उसमें काम कर रहे हैं. आपने कहा कि ये हमारी ड्रग निकलेगी एज गुड एज एनाल्जेसिक्स स्टेरॉयड, एज एंटी गुड एज एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी ड्रग. हाउ व्हाट, सो व्हाट, unless you do the analysis of that. That you should learn. And those who are teachers must teach this. And that's the large opportunities. We advertise more than 100 positions for health technology assessment, that is in Ministry of Health Research, but hardly any pharmacologist has applied in that. And 1-2-3% who are community medicine. तो वो एरिया हमको एक देखना चाहिए. हेल्थ टेक्नोलॉजी असेसमेंट, अगर हमने कोई डिवाइस या कोई रिजीम मार्केट में लेके आए, देन इट इज नाउ सब्जेक्टेड टू हेल्थ टेक्नोलॉजी असेसमेंट बिफोर इट इज एक्सेप्टेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इन नेशनल प्रोग्राम, वेदर इट इज स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और वेदर इट इज द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. सो दैट इज what is something important. I also advise to my younger generation, जो particularly the middle level, जो project submit करते हैं ICMR, DST, DBT, पहले तो आपको सब जगह पता होना चाहिए कि कितनी फंडिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, और आपको पता होना चाहिए कि क्या क्या उनका थ्रस्ट एरिया है, and then you have to make match of that, and then you can say yes, this is the area. I asked 2 questions when I evaluated, and that has become the policy of ICMR. So what? अरे यार तूने प्रोजेक्ट लिखा है, so what? That means your answer must come from you, कि इसके बाद में ये हम कंट्री की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करेंगे और ये हमारी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होगी. एंड द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू आंसर दिस, नो वे, प्रोजेक्ट विल नॉट बी गो टू द रेफरी ऑल्सो. द नेक्स्ट इज आफ्टर सो व्हाट नेक्स्ट. इसके बाद आपने क्या सोचा कि इसके बाद में हम क्या करेंगे. ये थोड़ी कि हमने बता दिया कि यार इसमें एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी प्रॉपर्टी है, इसमें एंटी कैंसर प्रॉपर्टी है, हर एक प्लांट में कुछ ना कुछ है. व्हाट नेक्स्ट? How you are going to take it to the market is not necessary that you take it to the market, but you must have an idea to whom to contact, which industry to rope in, which regulator to rope in. And that's why we started in ICMR MedTech Mitra. MedTech Mitra. Medical technology की जो वैली ऑफ डेथ होती है, उस वैली ऑफ डेथ को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए we give advice. And that's what we also started an academy, I will tell you later. So that is something which is very important for all of you. The important thing is, you also, particularly pharmacists, what you are doing, ये भी देखो ना. हमारी country की problem, which I realized, my son realized that, कि उसके पास इतने सारे लोग आते थे प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लेके कि पापा ये प्रिस्क्रिप्शन में तो पढ़ाई में नहीं आ रहा, वो पूछ रहा है कि क्या लिखा हुआ है. And the reason was handwriting was bad. डॉक्टरों की ज़्यादातर हैंड राइटिंग बहुत अच्छी नहीं होती है. वो कहते हैं कि हम तो गांधी के फॉलोवर थे. गांधी जी ने अपनी बायोग्राफी में लिखा है कि आई ऑलवेज फील सैड दैट मेरी हैंड राइटिंग के टाइम में मेरे टीचर्स ने टोका नहीं, लेकिन उसको डिफेंड करने के लिए लोग कहते हैं कि मेरी हैंड राइटिंग गांधी जैसी है. And then there are several incidents where the people have died, adverse reaction happened, ADR happened because of it is ineligible. People go to the chemist, people go to the doctors again and again कि ये डोज में ले लूँ पानी के साथ या दूध के साथ, गर्म ठंडे के साथ में. And this also reduces patient compliance and adherence. What can we do? Simple thing. So he started, in fact, my engineer son, he started a company and this said was Vaidya RX. And this prescription can be converted into digitalized prescription, and the background 20 pharmacists and nearly about 12 retired doctors will read it and convince that give any query to this patient. And that is what only in 10 rupees. And that is, of course, now a lot of venture capitalists are funding it. So ये चीज़ें जो करने की चीज़ है, ये सोचने की चीज़ है कि हमारे फार्मासिस्ट का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन, ड्रग इंटरेक्शन, पेशेंट एडहेरेंस और पेशेंट का जो हमारा कंप्लायंस है, इसको इम्प्रूव करने के लिए क्या करें. What software we can develop, and what is important thing is that will also give you the drug utilization pattern, that will also give you antimicrobial resistance pattern, that will also give you what is the misuse of antibiotics in the country, which is now a pandemic. AMR is almost like a pandemic. So that is something which is very important for all of you. Pharmacy, I will just say दो तीन चीज़ें pharmacy कि हमारी pharmacy education has become and I think I would say it has not remained contemporary. तो आपको सोचना चाहिए इसको contemporary कैसे बनाएं. अभी just few days back, I was in Tata Hospital, and there we thought, where are the onco pharmacists? Where are the pharmacists who can dilute the drug, who can compound the drug for individual patient of cancer? How it can be safeguarded कि इसको यहाँ पे कैसे रखो, कैसे destroy करो, क्या करो, particularly anti-cancer drugs, risky thing. Then an NGO raised this question. ICMR took it up, and now we have started in Tata Memorial a diploma course, not diploma, certificate course, because the courses cannot be started with unless there is a council gives a, or commission gives a permission. Certificate course for onco-pharmacist. Need it. And there are no. ये हमको पढ़ाने की ज़रूरत है. How many of pharmacists they know? हमारे तो pharmacist को, डॉक्टर को अगर हमने कई बार सर्वे करके पूछा ये जो RX लिखते हैं ये क्या है, नहीं पता लोगों को. कोई कहता है डॉक्टर का ऑर्डर है, कोई कहता है कुछ है, कोई कहता है कुछ है. हार्डली लोगों को पता होगा. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टॉक ऑन दिस. एंड देन it is also important to know, to tell public what is the expiry. And you might have seen in recent papers which we have debated in TV also, कि expiry लिखा हुआ है. Expiry के बाद 80% of the drugs even after expiry doesn't expire. It is only means that by this time the drug has been tested to be of that quality. Beyond that it is illegal to sell. But you might have seen in COVID, crores of rupees of medicines were expired, but then they were revalidated after good amount of test. So that is also something which is important. You should also learn the AI. जो AI को नहीं समझ पाएगा, नहीं करेगा, irrespective of whether I am 72 plus or irrespective whether you are 18 plus, you will be extinguished. You have to be relevant. And particularly for pharmacologists, for human related things, you have to know how the AI can contribute to drug development process, how it can contribute to the pharmacovigilance process, how it can contribute to identifying the possible use in future patients, how it can identify what is the possible volume of the drug which may require for rare disease. And that is what is AI is required. Gone are the days जब हम अपनी स्लाइड आज से 5-6 साल पहले ड्रग डेवलपमेंट की स्लाइड दिखाते थे, कहते थे कि ये 1-2 बिलियन लगता है और 10 साल से 12 साल लगते हैं. अरे यार कोविड में क्या हुआ? ऑल गॉन बिकॉज इनोवेटिव थिंकिंग आई, इनोवेटिव सॉल्यूशंस आए. और किसने निकाले? हम ही ने निकाले ना. तो वो स्लाइड तो दिखाना बंद कर दीजिए. एंड देयरफॉर यू हैव टू थिंक कि हमें क्या इनोवेशन करना है क्लिनिकल रिसर्च में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू हैव ए फ्लेक्सिबल क्लिनिकल ट्रायल, अडेप्टेबल क्लिनिकल ट्रायल, decentralized clinical trial, AI use in clinical trial. Now, this is what you have to learn and talk about. And this is, finally, I would say, because I can see 0, 0 here, you have to penetrate into the public, you have to penetrate into the clinician, you have to penetrate into policy, contribute to the government policy. अगर आपको कोई ऐसा इशू लगता है कंट्री में है, चाहे वो इम्प्योरिटी का हो, चाहे वो पॉइजन का हो, चाहे कफ सिरप का हो, चाहे वो inefficacy of drug का हो, चाहे pricing का हो, write an op-ed opinion piece in public, write a paper, send a letter, your voice will be heard. You should be policy maker, contribute to the policy. And that is what, don't think that you are young, don't think that you are too old. At any stage, you can be part of the making policy. And I always say, जब आपकी वैल्यू आप ही बढ़ा सकते हैं. फार्माकोलॉजिस्ट को लोग कहते हैं कि यार फार्माकोलॉजिस्ट बन गए तो हम तो एक थोड़े से नीचे सेगमेंट के आ गए, particularly medical profession में. I say, not giving I feel very satisfied. I was an ophthalmologist, then shifted to pharmacology. And I will just give you 1 second also, which I joined ophthalmology after doing MBBS, and one of my teacher at that time was a great known ophthalmologist. बड़ी कंट्री में अथॉरिटी था, सीतापुर में अस्पताल चलाते थे. उनके नाम से फेमस था कि जो कह दिया सो कह दिया इन्होंने, और 3 बार उन्होंने कह दिया कि फेल तो फेल ही होगा 3 बार. तो उन्होंने 10वें दिन हमसे कहा कि वेरी रफ लैंग्वेज, आई विल नॉट रिप्रोड्यूस इट हियर बिकॉज दैट मे बी साउंडिंग अनपार्लियामेंट्री, तुमको तो 3 बार में पास नहीं करेंगे. एंड दैट वॉज माई लास्ट डे इन वर्किंग ophthalmics. I left ophthalmics. 2 days after, Professor K.P. Bhargava, who was father of Balram Bhargava at that time, he called Balram Bhargava and said कि उस लड़के को बुला के लाओ यहाँ पे. And that was my first day in pharmacology. So my message here is, don't be a teacher like ophthalmology professor, because he has destroyed somebody's career, wish and future. Be a teacher like K.P. Bhargava, who motivated me and he made my career. तो एक टीचर ऐसा होता है जिसकी हम सोचते हैं कि यार ऐसा टीचर तो कभी बनना ही नहीं है, डीमोटिवेट करने वाला, और ऐसा टीचर बनो, कम से कम मोटिवेट करो. एंड द सेकंड थिंग, व्हेन यू गो इनटू द सब्जेक्ट, डेवलप लव विद इट. दैट इज द सेकंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. तो फाइनली आई वुड से, आपकी इंपॉर्टेंस सोसाइटी में आप खुद बनाते हैं. रिलेवेंट, कंटेम्प्रेरी, फ्यूचरिस्टिक, एंड विद कीपिंग आई ओपन टू द सोसाइटी, ओपन टू द ग्लोब नीड. एक शेर है, खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना, खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा हर तकदीर से पहले पूछे कि बता तेरी रजा क्या है, बता तेरी रजा क्या है. दैट इज व्हाट माय एम इज फॉर मोटिवेटिंग यू, particularly youth, for Viksit Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. What a beautiful practical tips you were giving. And you ended your keynote lecture with a beautiful share by Allama Iqbal. So, any one question can be taken from the audience. He's shared his experience related to and giving the importance of startups, entrepreneurship, innovation. So, anything which you would like to ask? Yes, sir, Dr. Palit. So he is already accepting that he is has a great influence of Professor K.P. Bhargav. Yeah, I know. You are the batchmate of
You are
Professor
also very
Y.K.
active,
Gupta.
sir.
Yeah, I know. You.
नहीं नहीं, मैं मेरे पास इसका जवाब नहीं है, लेकिन मैं एक ही चीज़ कहूँगा जो मैंने अभी कहा भी, that you have to develop love with the subject where you are. You don't have to leave the passion which, and anything which you work with passion, वो अपने आप आपको सक्सेस मिलती चली जाएगी. पैशन बड़ा ज़रूरी है. आधे हार्ट से काम मत करो कहीं पे भी. और तीसरी चीज़, एनर्जी आती है हमारे सुनने वालों से जो ताली बजाते हैं. लेकिन एक चीज़ और भी है. एक एक बार मुझे मोदी जी ने एक बार कहा था, तो मुझे वो सेंटेंस बहुत अच्छा लगा. उन्होंने कहा, किसी ने मोदी से पूछा कि आप लोग ताली बजाते हैं तो आपको कैसा लगता है. उन्होंने कहा बहुत अच्छा लगता है. फिर थोड़ा उन्होंने पॉज करके कहा, लेकिन मेरी धड़कनें बढ़ जाती हैं. क्यों बढ़ जाती हैं? क्योंकि अगली बार ताली बजाने लायक मुझे कुछ काम करना पड़ेगा. So that means each clap from the floor should come as a motivation to do better and remain worthy of your clap, appreciation. And that is what gives an energy. And friends like Palit, Dr. Palit, senior, my colleague, and everybody who says good words is an appreciation. साथ साथ में वो कहते हैं ना, निंदक बहुत राखी है. आपके क्रिटिक्स भी होने चाहिए. क्रिटिक्स होने चाहिए, लेकिन क्रिटिक्स से डिप्रेस कभी नहीं होना चाहिए. यू इम्प्रूव ऑन व्हाट पर्सन हैज सेड. यू फाइंड आउट सोल सर्चिंग कि यार मैंने गलती करी, अगली बार नहीं करूँगा, कम करूँगा. आदमी है, गलती तो करेगा ही ना. और तीसरी चीज़, कभी तालियों से अपने आप को ऊपर मत बढ़ा लो. कद इतना ऊपर मत बढ़ा लो कि ताली से ऊपर चला जाए. सो आई थिंक यू हैव टू रिमेन हम्बल and you have to remain a good listener so that you get an idea, and then it is up to you. So I will ask you to answer my question later.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words and encouraging words.
Thank you so much, sir, for the enlightening talk and every word of sir. I think it has really immersed into our heads and into our heart. Thank you so much, sir. Now is the time to felicitate, sir. I would request the chairpersons to kindly felicitate, sir. Since sir was not here with us yesterday, we have missed his Pharma Ratna Award, and we have the honor of bestowing that award today to sir. So thank you. I request the organizing secretary and chairperson, Professor Anil Kumar sir, to join in.